Marvel's Black Widow might get delayed again. There are some things in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that you can always depend on, like the fact that Peter Parker will constantly remind you of your own mortality by referencing old movies like Aliens and Empire Strikes Back. Or maybe the fact that by putting on a baseball hat, some sunglasses, and a hoodie means you're the stealthiest person alive. And of course, how could I forget the fact that Black Widow will never have a firm release date?
All right, enough. All of you.
Now I know what you're thinking. But Dan, isn't this long-delayed MCU prequel finally coming out on May 7th? Well, much like Ralph Boner without a necklace, not so fast. While Disneyland is reopening with a limited capacity beginning on April 30th, Disney is keeping us waiting when it comes to confirmation about whether or not we can actually watch Black Widow on the big screen on Disney Plus or at all this May.
Don't give me hope.
Speaking to Bloomberg Television, which we spotted via Deadline, Disney CEO Bob Chepek said, "Our situation and our conditions changed. Just a few weeks ago, theaters in New York and Los Angeles weren't even open. Now, all of a sudden, they're open. So we're waiting to see how prospective theatergoers respond to these reopenings. We're going to remain flexible. We'll make a call probably at the last minute in terms of how these films come to market, whether it's Black Widow or any other title." So much like Natasha Romanoff in the Black Widow trailer, it kinda sounds like this long-delayed movie could be jumping ship and flying to another release date. Hopefully though, this fall will be less traumatic and devastating than the one in Avengers Endgame, because by the time this Scarlett Johansson starring film finally comes out, we could all be older than Steve Rogers. Your thoughts, Bones? You haven't even seen Endgame, you fool! The real question though is why exactly is Black Widow's release date even in question? Well, the long and the short of it is money and logistics, because massive blockbusters like F9, No Time to Die, and Venom Let There Be Carnage have all fled their original release dates for safer pastures with more assured box office returns. And Black Widow could opt to wait until things are a little bit more back to normal before introducing us to the rest of Natasha's super spy family on the big screen. Although COVID-19 vaccines are becoming more readily available, rollout has been slower than expected in certain regions, and new variants of the virus pose additional challenges to parts of the world as they head back into lockdown. So, could Disney then adopt a hybrid release model like they did with Mulan and Raya and the Last Dragon, making it available in theaters where they're open and on Disney Plus Premier Access for a $30 surcharge? Well, that is certainly possible, especially given Disney Plus's recently reported 100 million global subscribers, but with chains like Cinemark refusing to show Raya and the Last Dragon because of its simultaneous availability on Disney Plus, that could be a sticking point for Disney. And in his interview with Bloomberg TV, Chepek stressed the importance of the traditional movie business to the House of Mouse. "We love the theatrical window. We think it's important for building our franchises. At the same time, we don't think it's the only way to do it. We'll see what happens over the next couple of months. So much is changing, it's such a dynamic environment, it's really hard to predict what's going to happen with consumer behavior in the next month as it comes to reemergence back into the world of normal. We'll be watching the call carefully and make the call when we have to." Although it was originally supposed to kick off Marvel's Phase 4, Black Widow's unique position as a prequel thankfully means it won't impact the continuity of the overarching post-blip storyline in the same way that switching WandaVision with the Falcon and Bucky show likely did. Then again, as we now know from Captain Marvel, stories that take place in the distant past of the 1990s can have major ramifications on present-day films, shows, and storylines like Spider-Man Far From Home, WandaVision, and Secret Invasion, just to name a few. And if Black Widow does get delayed even further, that could potentially affect other Phase 4 movies like Shang-Chi, The Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home as well. So fingers crossed it won't come to that, especially with a movie like Spider-Man No Way Home, because I am heavily invested in the multiversal storyline set up by WandaVision. Then again, only time will tell. In the meantime, we'll keep you posted on all things Marvel, Cinematic, and Universe right here on Nerdist.com. That said, folks, tell us, what do you think of this news? Would you rather wait to see Black Widow in a theater, or would you rather see it at home, pay $30 or more to watch it on Disney Plus?
Whatever it takes.
Let us know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, stay tuned to Nerdist.com.